Hello and welcome to Newsfeed, your daily dose of what people are talking about online, from news stories to what's trending. A leaked report has revealed that the European Union's border agency systematically helped Greek authorities illegally push back refugees. The 129-page investigation by the European Anti-Fraud Office was leaked to various European news outlets. It states that the EU border agency Frontex was not only complicit in Greece's human rights violations in the Aegean and Mediterranean seas, but also covered up the illegal pushbacks. The damning report details how Frontex co-financed some of the illegal deportations and then lied to the EU Parliament to hide the fact that money from European taxpayers had been used. TRT World's defense analyst Ubay Shabandar examines what these pushbacks actually look like for refugees trying to reach Europe.
Despite repeated denials by the governments in Athens and by European Union and Commission bureaucrats that they had no knowledge of these so-called pushbacks. Now, what these pushbacks do is essentially the Greek Coast Guard goes out to a rubber dinghy, a rubber boat that's carrying dozens of illegal migrants as they make their way towards the Greek territorial waters, which is also really the territorial waters of the European Union. And the Greek Coast Guard either shoots at that boat to try to deflate the boat, or hooks onto the boat and pushes it out into international waters or back into Turkish territorial waters. Now, dozens of migrants have died, women and children, in a very dangerous situation out in the sea. And this, of course, goes fully against the mandates of the European Commission's Migration Agency and Frontex, which is to find a humane solution dealing with these illegal migrants that are attempting to cross the Mediterranean and into Europe.
Governments across the world are looking at ways to regulate social media, especially content that can be harmful. French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin announced that Parliament had adopted a bill to regulate terrorism online. With this law, the government can make websites and publishers delete any posts within an hour. French Telecommunications Minister Jean-Noël Barrot also tweeted that ensuring the security of digital spaces is essential to preserving democracy. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has spearheaded several initiatives aimed at modernizing the kingdom. Now he's unveiled his latest plans to build an entirely new city that cuts through the heart of the desert. On this week's Double Check, Dan looks at this bold new venture called The Line and whether it's just a fantasy or the future.
Welcome to Double Check. On this episode, we're looking at Saudi Arabia's ambitious megacity project. A glimpse into the future, a net zero eco-city powered by renewable energy. Saudi Arabia's NEOM project aims to offer world-class quality of life while protecting the environment. The kingdom says it will create jobs and growth. Plans call for the development to cover the desert land the size of Belgium. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman announced the designs for the ambitious project. It includes 3 high-tech cities, Oxagon, Trojana and The Line. The Line, a smart linear city, is planned as 2 parallel skyscrapers that are expected to house 9 million residents. They'll stretch out for a whopping 170 kilometers and rise to a height of 500 meters. That's taller than the Empire State Building in New York. The city will cover desert, mountain and coastal areas.
Throughout history, cities were built to protect their citizens from confined spaces. After the Industrial Revolution, cities prioritized machines, cars and factories over people. Even in cities that claim to be the world's most advanced, people spend years of their lives commuting. 90% of people breathe polluted air. Why should we sacrifice nature for the sake of development?
The city's vertically layered communities will challenge the traditional flat, horizontal cities, the prince said. The designs of the line embody how urban communities will be in the future and environments free from roads, cars, and emissions. The estimated cost of the structure is $1 trillion. Another $500 billion is expected to be needed to develop the entire project. It's wholly owned by the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund and part of the Crown Prince's Vision 2030 framework. It's an initiative to reduce the kingdom's dependence on oil, diversify its economy, and attract foreign investment. The strategic location, situated on the Gulf of Aqaba, will give the Saudis access to 13% of global trade passing through the Suez Canal. Plans also include creating the largest cruise terminal in the Red Sea. Another plus is that the region is 10 degrees cooler than the rest of the Six-Nation Gulf Cooperation Council. To feed the line's 9 million residents, the kingdom plans to integrate vertical farming into the buildings. It will also reportedly offer subscriptions for residents to be served breakfast, lunch and dinner. The buildings will be connected by walkways and a high-speed rail with an end-to-end transit of 20 minutes. No cars will be allowed. Project officials say the high-tech megacity will be built on 34 square kilometers of land, only 2% of conventional cities, and a technology hub on the largest floating structure in the world. Saudi Arabia is hoping to attract both foreign and residents and investors. NEOM plans to operate under its own law, independent of Saudi Arabia. But are these plans realistic? Many people are skeptical. It's been branded near impossible by employees who are under pressure to meet a 2030 deadline. Initial assessments reportedly seen by the Wall Street Journal say it'll take up to 50 years to complete. There are concerns about the lack of sunlight in the structures and its effect on residents' health, while others aren't convinced the kingdom can live up to its plans for a new set of laws for the city. Investors are also reportedly dropping out, but Saudi Arabia has had some success in attracting blue-chip firms like US chemical company Air Products. It signed an agreement along with a Saudi firm to invest $5 billion to build what would be the world's largest green hydrogen production facility. Many hurdles lie ahead, but what the Crown Prince has dreamed up would be no less than a new wonder of the world. That's all for this episode. Let us know if there are any stories out there that you feel need to be double-checked. Until next time, take care.
Thanks, Dan, for that. Okay, so TikTok is a good place to know what's out of style. Gen Zers will be able to tell you to drop the skinny jeans, the matte makeup, and the side part hairstyle. And now the youth is ready to tell you that salary transparency is what's hip.
I'm a marketing director for a startup company.
Okay. How much do you make?
I make $250,000 a year.
TikTokers give each other advice on how to negotiate salaries, make monthly budgets, and how to fight for their rights in the workplace. It's all part of an ongoing shift in work culture. So while younger generations are more openly discussing their work conditions, that can sometimes clash with more old-school mindsets. One TikToker found that out the hard way. That was Lexi Larson. She shared her new job and salary with her followers on TikTok, but soon after she was sacked. Now the company says it wasn't because she shared her salary. Side note, they actually can't fire her for sharing her salary because US labor law gives her that right. The company instead says she was a security concern, even though she hadn't shared the employer's name or any details regarding the job. Lexi has since returned to her old job, doing what she thinks is important, being transparent. And her followers on TikTok appreciate her openness. In fact, most of Gen Z does. The generation is spearheading the fight for salary transparency. A recent survey conducted by LinkedIn showed that 81% of those born after 1997 believe that salary transparency will help reduce the pay gap. Around 75% of millennials agree, but that drops to 28% among their older colleagues. And there seems to be a connection. Women under 30 make about 84 cents for every dollar that a man makes. That number is even lower among women over 45, who make only around 70 cents to the dollar. So more transparency could lead to a lower pay gap. We've been reporting all week on the Instagram update that's made a lot of users unhappy. Even the Kardashians signed the petition to make Instagram again. Well, it seems to have worked. Instagram executives have announced they will be rolling back the full screen feed update. The head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, had repeatedly defended the update, but in an interview with Platformer, he admitted the app needs to regroup, though he's still glad they took a risk. So what do Russell Crowe, Kylie Minogue, and Margot Robbie have in common? They're just some of the world-famous stars who got their starts on the TV show Neighbours. And after 37 years and almost 9,000 episodes, the legendary Australian soap opera has come to an end. Britain's Channel 5 decided to drop the show to spend more on original UK dramas. And no other network picked it up, meaning fans will have to say farewell to their beloved residents of Ramsay Street. Now, after so many years and episodes, the list of stars who've passed through the Neighbours set is quite lengthy. Singer-songwriter Kylie Minogue played a feisty mechanic. Fellow pop stars Natalie Imbruglia and Delta Goodrem also made appearances, as did the Hemsworth brothers, Russell Crowe, Guy Pearce, and Alan Dale. And in the final episode, many returned for a big send-off.
It certainly feels like the end of an era. It all goes so quickly.
Seeing him again, it was like no time had passed at all.
Yeah, there's lots of old faces floating about. Do you think Therese still loves me?
Your story, my story. I wanted a reason to come back.
The street is not going to be the same without you.
This is going to be a great new start.
Where are you moving to?
I don't really know.
We might be leaving the street, but we're always going to be in each other's lives.
Always.
Definitely the end of an era. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Newsfeed. Find us on YouTube and do subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know what stories you're keen to see on our show. See you soon.